Hi, and welcome to another episode of The Life of Divine Favor. I'm your host. Well, today is our very first show for 2015, and today I have a very special guest that I'm going to be introducing a little bit later. But let me tell you a little bit about what's going on with Divine Favor. Recently, I was nominated with the S&M Gospel Indie Awards. There are 5 categories: Female Artist of the Year, Holy Hip Hop Artist of the Year, New Artist of the Year, Song of the Year, and Album of the Year. So I want you guys to go to the link that will be posted with this show and is already on my page and also on my Divine Favor page, and go and vote for me. You can vote once a day all the way up to February the 10th, so make sure you're doing that, and I would greatly and truly appreciate that. And I'm very, very excited about this show, which is going to be on May 23rd, 2015, and I also will be one of the performances at the awards show. So looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I'm going to introduce my next guest, but we're going to come right back, and then you're going to meet this beautiful young lady.
3.
Hi, and welcome back to The Life of Divine Favor. Today I have a very special guest with me. Her name is Minister Keisha Lapsley. Did I pronounce it correctly? I would have made sure I had that right. I was so nervous about that. But she is a beautiful, talented young woman. She's a minister, she's an author, and she's a chef. So and it looks like she's also a movie producer that I just recently found out about. So this is going to be an exciting show. And so welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let's talk a little bit about where you're from and where you were born.
Okay, well, where I was born is more of a Miley Cyrus, the best of both worlds. Mm-hmm. And because I was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, mm-hmm. But then when I was about 11 years old, we moved to Indianapolis, Indiana. Okay. So I lived kind of like my whole life in 2 different places.
Okay, very good. ATL to Indianapolis.
Necktown.
Wow, my goodness. That's like way across the world from one end to the other almost, just about, huh? Mm-hmm. So is that anywhere near Gary, Indiana?
Yes, it's a few hours from Gary.
A few hours, okay, but that's the only place in Indiana I truly know is Gary because of the Jacksons and the Jackson 5, so, anyhow. But it's so good to have you on the show, and I want to talk a little bit about your new book that came out in 2014, and it's called Homeless, My Favorite Park Bench, and this is the book, you guys. Tell us a little bit about this book.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to present you with this book.
Oh, thank you.
This is your own personal copy.
Yay, thank you.
But basically, where the stories derive from, because this book is a series, mm-hmm. And so where homeless derived from is because when we were living in a certain place where I'm a military spouse, so we have, moved to many different places, and in this particular place that we were in church, but we felt homeless. Mm. The church said that we were family, but we weren't family.
Okay.
And so it was a bit of a desert experience. Mm-hmm. And what I wanted to portray in this book, this is Samantha is the character. Mm-hmm. And what I wanted to portray is a natural homeless kind of feel. Mm-hmm. And then the other ones are going to trickle down into the spiritual aspect of it. Okay. But, we all at one point in time, I'm not going to say we all of us, mm-hmm. But, many of us have felt homeless in the church. That's right. Haven't felt like, we were part of anything. Mm-hmm. And you kind of lose yourself in that sometimes. Mm-hmm. And so God gave me this book, and I wrote this book in 30 days. Wow. He was leading me in writing it. Yes. He led me in writing this book. When I would go on, he said, like, no, go back, do this. Mm. And so I wrote it, and I was just like, oh, wow. I was like, okay, God, I see you. I know what you're doing. My God. So this is where the book derived from, and my favorite park bench is a bench that Samantha is comfortable with. Mm-hmm. She became comfortable with being homeless. Mm. And so it took her to key people in her life, mm-hmm. to pull her away from the bench and let her know it was okay. Okay. So that's what the story is about.
Wow, that's actually, that sounds very interesting, and I can't wait to dig my thoughts thoughts and eyes into this. I'm a reader. I love books. I'm a collector of books, and I like good spiritual-based books, and I like storylines. And so you guys make sure that you click the link, because there'll be a link on this show that tells you how to get this book from Minister Keisha. And I'm very proud of you, for writing this. I remember when she first said she was writing this, and then when it came out, and everything happened so swiftly. So I know it had to be God involved in that. Mm-hmm. And actually, you have provoked me to a little spiritual jealousy, because it's taken me 3 years to write my book, which will be coming out this year. And so I'm finally happy that it'll be going, over to the press in the next couple of months. So please get this book. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. And let's talk a little bit about your movie production, because I didn't even know about that, guys, when I invited her to come on the show.
Yes, well, the movie is called After Christ's Passion, and it's basically a story about a teacher who shares her faith with her children. But because of a situation that happened, she felt like that was the only answer. And she also included the children, but one of her students, whose father is an atheist. And she went home to tell her father what happened and how she felt secluded and alone. And so the father made it his business to fire her, to get her fired from the school. And he succeeds. And she's figuring out, like, God, I'm doing this for you. How come I'm getting fired? And she's not understanding. But what she also learns through this journey is that she has a typical kind of faith. Well, God, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't do this, I don't do that. And God is like, it's more than about that. Right. It's about a relationship. And so her relationship grows throughout the film. And she understands that, everything that she went through just growing up, and some things that through adulthood, that everything, it's not God's fault. He's there every step of the way, but she seemed to have taken fault with everybody else and became jealous of everybody else because their lives seemed to be going what she deemed perfect. Right. But it wasn't like that. And her sister is the one who allows her to see that, hey, you can have what you want as well. You just have to believe, you have to work for it and let go of all this animosity. So that's what it's about.
Wow. Some of us actually have been there. I'm sure somebody that's watching this show is going to have experienced something like that, where you want to blame everybody else for your problems, or you just don't understand what God is doing in your life. And I've been there personally, and I'm telling you, just to come out on the other end and be able to look back and see where you came from. So I'm gonna. Is there a link or a website for that movie?
Yes, the link is www.afterchristpassion.com.
Okay.
And it will pull up. You can see pictures, some filming that we've done already. We go back into production in March because we were in production before, but we had to put a pause on it for a minute. And when God is doing something, there's like so many attacks.
Yes.
And so I read this quote that said, your commitment, you're committed long after the emotional high is gone.
That's right.
And so I was like, oh, you saying something right there.
Jesus, yes. So we are looking forward to the completion of that. And I'm going to be one of the first. I want to see this personally because I love movies, especially movies about people and the spiritual aspect of it all. And so we're looking forward to that. Now, let's get to the goody.
Can I interject something
about
the film? I don't want to miss out on this opportunity, but the film, the DVD, when it comes out, is going to be free to everyone. Okay. This is my gift to God, and so whenever anybody wants it, all you have to do is contact me, and it is free. And if I have to mail it, then it's just shipping and handling, and that is completely all. Wow. So it is awesome. Free. When it comes out, it's going to be free to everyone.
Okay. Yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing this film, and I want you guys to still, bless her with whatever it is that you want to bless her with. If God moves on your heart to bless her with that, and so let's get into the sweetness of Minister Keisha, the sweet desserts and pastries. And all of those yummy things I see on Facebook. And that banana, what is it that you make that comes in the
the banana pudding truffle?
Yes. Oh, that looks so good. Oh, that looks so good. And she just posted a beautiful cake that you made for your husband and yourself. That is a beautiful cake. And so I'm interested. I was thinking maybe I should have had her bring some tasty, things for us to taste. Because I like to eat. So, okay. But anyhow, I'm so happy to hear about you being a chef. So how long have you been making pastries and being a chef?
Well, I have actually been baking since 2003. And I got started in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. And when I got into my writing, I kind of put it down. And I was like, okay, God is done with that. And I had gave away all my baking stuff to a friend of mine. And I was like, oh, girl, I'm done. You can have this, And God just later was like, you're not finished. You're not done. So
wow. Okay.
So I was like, okay. But ever since then, I've been baking. So I went to school.